Hello everyone, this is Matt from Keystroke Games again, and this is going to be the first part of a series that is going to be explaining our platformer package that we gave out for free. So if you haven't already looked at the package, it's on our channel, and it's the first video you see here, Game Maker platform template for free, best way to get started. So if you haven't already, watch this. The download link's in the description. Go ahead and download the project, and that's going to give us a good starting point for what we're going to be doing in this tutorial series. So let's go ahead and this is what the project looks like when you first open it. So first I'm going to show you how easy it is to substitute sprites in and to get the effect you want. Now, I forgot to cover this in the first video, which I really should have, is that this entire package is only compatible with the Pro edition of Game Maker. I know it's a bummer for some of you guys who don't have the Pro edition yet, especially now that they raised the price to $40, which I think is crazy. But unfortunately, to do the advanced sprite rotations that are performed in the code, you need to have Pro edition to run that. So I'm sorry guys if you don't have Pro, but this is going to be for pros only. So first I'm going to show you how easy it is to replace sprites in the game. So let's go under sprites, go under player, military, which is our player basically, and let's go to our head right, and you can see here, let's look at how big the sprite is. It's 64 by 64 pixels, and the origin is right at the base of the neck. You can see that. So if I want to change the sprite, I'm going to go into load sprite, and what you're going to have to do is you're going to draw a head that is on a 64 by 64 template that's near the top of the screen. So what we can do is I can just type in something like Cyborg 1 head, which is a sprite that I've made beforehand, and I'm going to open it up, and you can see here we have our Cyborg head, and before you're done I'm just going to set the origin to the base of the neck, and just you can toy around with the origin a little bit, but the origin's where it rotates in place on the player, so that should be good for the player. I'll click OK. Then I'll go to head left. You notice it's upside down because when you rotate the head around the neck, it becomes upside down. So if you're wondering why, that's why. So what we're going to do is we're going to load in the exact same sprite, our cyborg head. We're going to go to edit sprite, transform, mirror flip, and we're going to flip it vertically and horizontally so that it's upside down facing left. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set the origin right around the base of the neck again, and that will be good for that. So now if we run our game, we'll see that our player now has a cybernetic head, which may look kind of weird, and oops, I forgot that it's upside down and it's facing right. So I'll just go out, fix that really quick. So our head left should actually be upside down, but still facing right. So you want to make sure that that's what you do for the head. Another thing that's pretty easy to replace that you'll want to do when you're starting to make your game is the floors. Obviously, you don't want a black square as your floor. So I already have some stuff from other projects, so I'm going to load in a floor I have from a different thing. Now, this floor is 16 by 16, but the floor I'm loading in is 32 by 32. So when I load this in and click OK, when we look at our room, we're going to see that our room is pretty messed up because, I mean, it does sort of look cool actually, but it's not the way it was meant to look. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these tiles and go ahead and delete all the objects as well, because I'll show you how to set up your own room in a second. So now that I have my floors in here, actually I'm going to turn back on my grid, set my snap to 32 by 32 because that's how big my tiles are, and I'm just going to start filling in a basic level. And you guys know how to do this simple stuff, hopefully. So that's how that part of Game Maker works. This is a pretty easy way to put together a level, and now I'm just going to show you the objects you need to make the level playable. So everything with the player is centered to be programmed around his legs. So the player is completely controlled from the legs. The rest is just for collision masks and animations and such. So if you just place the player's legs in the level, it will automatically create the rest of his body. Now, also from the player, you need to start out with the pistol. So I'm just gonna find my Desert Eagle, which is the pistol, and you can place it anywhere because it will automatically snap to your player. And then the last thing I need is my HUD drawer, which draws the two weapons in the corner that it shows what you have. From then, as far as placing guns go, you don't want to place the actual gun object, you want to place the pickup object. Because if you place the gun object, it will snap to your player, which will look really weird. So if I just place the assault rifle pickup object over here, and then I click save and run my game, you'll see that we'll have a cybernetic head, and I'll be able to play in this level I created with custom floor textures, and be able to shoot my guns, blam, 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 and pretty much, at this rate, half of what is even in this game is already made by me, and I have done absolutely no programming. So I think it's pretty good. Now, as far as the programming goes, a lot of you are probably going to want to know how this was programmed. Now, when I was programming this, I tried to stay away from actual code. Like, I used the actual code as little as I could, even though I could have done this whole thing in GameMaker C. I wanted you guys who are beginning to code to be able to look at this code and try to understand it. Now, I probably won't be going over the code in a tutorial, but I would suggest watching some tutorials. There's plenty other ones on YouTube on how to start programming GameMaker, and you'll be able to start understanding all this and what it actually does. Now, I will admit that this is not the most efficient way to program half of this stuff, because when I programmed this, I was still beginning, but pretty much everything in here, except for some little fragments like this, are all in the GUI block form. And one more thing I wanted to cover is that the crosshair automatically hooks itself up to the inaccuracy of the weapon, if you didn't already notice. So the more you shoot, the more inaccurate your weapon gets, and the larger your crosshair gets, just like in most first-person shooters these days. So I think that's going to conclude this tutorial. I hope you guys come up with some interesting things. I encourage you can either send me a message with a video of a game you've created with using this, or you can post it as a video response, and I will put it on my channel. I really want to see what kind of cool stuff you guys can create with this, and just have fun with GameMaker, guys. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and have a nice day.